welcome to the 49th Women's FA Cup final, the 5th to be played here at Wembley Stadium. It's the international stars of Manchester City who won this competition in 2017 up against the rising stars of West Ham, who are looking to finish their first season in the top flight in style. And for both of them, a chance to etch their names in footballing history.
We've won it before.
We want it again.
This is our turn to make history. This is our time. This is our moment.
Come on, City.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, City.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, City.
Expectation is high at Wembley for a thrilling match and potentially a record crowd. For West Ham, this is a team that were only assembled, some say, in 6 weeks last summer. West Ham, though, obviously up against a team of huge international stars who, of course, have been unbeaten in the league and looking for a cup double. So something of a David and Goliath encounter this afternoon. Both, though, will be looking to get their hands on this magnificent trophy. And alongside me in the studio, you couldn't ask for better FA Cup experience. 15 finals between them. Alex Scott, Rachel Brown-Finnis and England manager Phil Neville. Phil, this is the biggest day in women's domestic football, no doubt.
It's no doubt. I mean, it's played in the home of football, brilliant crowd, two really good teams. West Ham have done unbelievable to get here today. I just hope that they come here and enjoy it and give City a really good challenge, because we know the qualities of Man City.
Absolutely, and Wembley itself for 5 years has been a wonderful stage for this fun. It's growing and growing. And for a lot of these players, this will be a very new experience.
Yeah, when you look at the West Ham team, like Phil just mentioned, they've had an unbelievable season to get to this moment. But you don't want to come off with any regrets. You have to embrace it. Yes, there's going to be a huge crowd. Yes, all eyes on this game. But don't come off with any regrets. Go out there and give it your all.
What West Ham can't do is look to those matches domestically this season, because there was a 7-1 defeat early on, then a 3-1 defeat to Man City, which showed progress of sorts, if you like, through the season. But Manchester City are loaded with internationals, England internationals.
They are, absolutely. I mean, West Ham, as you said, have been assembled over a short period, but Matt Beard has done a fantastic job of adding to that squad. The likes of Cho, who came in January, in the January transfer window, has added a lot of quality, a lot of experience. But you look at Manchester City and they are absolutely littered. They've gone with Karen Bardsley in goal, experience over youth, with Ellie Roby being left on the bench. But what City will do is play through Kira Walsh, holding midfielder, key to how Manchester City play, and burn and torment the back line of West Ham with the pace of likes of Nikita Paris.
West Ham, while they have a lot of players who are new to the top flight, have also brought in players with experience. They've won this competition, a few of those players, as well as internationals they've added of late.
Yeah, captain Gilly Flaherty, you've got Claire Rafferty, who is an outstanding 1v1 defender, and they're going to be called upon today to make sure they're looking around that dressing room right now and settling some of those nerves and say, do you know what, we can match it. Yes, we are the underdogs, but they've done so well, so you can't shy away now.
Absolutely, and two managers as well, Phil, who know the women's game. They've won the WSL, both of them, in previous jobs, and Nick obviously with Man City as well.
Look, they've both done fantastic jobs. You think about the job that Matt Beard's done, a new club, 8 months old, gathering a load of players together, putting them together as a team. The performance in the semi-final against Reading was phenomenal. To win against a Reading side that was so much quality. Today will be about experience, and both managers have got that.
Absolutely, and we've said West Ham have had an incredible rise to the top, so who better to tell their story than Claret and Blue royalty?
You don't choose your club chooses you. And round my way, Claret and Blue courses through your veins. The Irons, West Ham, my club. Now for us Hammers fans, we get 2 for the price of 1. Now both teams are mixing it with the best.
For us, obviously our first year as a professional club, a whole brand new team, brand new management put together.
Jack Sullivan has been fantastic behind the scenes and been really supportive, and it's been tough, but I think we thoroughly deserve to be there.
We must start well today. We must win the first tackle, must win the first 50-50. Look at everyone around this room now and trust each other. As long as we do that, we'll win this football match today.
And we love nothing more than to upset the apple cart, to prove the doubters wrong.
West Ham are going to Wembley in their first season as a pro club.
I'm really hoping for a great turnout at Wembley. They turned up in their numbers in the semi-final, and they actually brought a bit of a tear to my eye when I stepped out onto the pitch and I heard them cheering us. So I'm really hoping we can kind of emulate that.
Wembley awaits. Saturday night underneath the arches, up against the sky blue of City.
We're facing one of the best teams in the league, but this is what cup finals are all about, and if you can't get up for a cup final, then you shouldn't be playing the sport.
You know we love our bubbles and bursting them, so watch out, City.
We've been on this journey together, but to be able to say that we got to a final in the first season, it's just such a proud moment for everyone.
We know we're underdogs, but this is the FA Cup and anything can happen. And we're up for this one. Come on, you Irons.
Well, thank you to Danny Dyer for that. The rain has just started to come down. It's been threatening all afternoon here at Wembley. And I should say as well that we know that thousands of West Ham fans are making their way across London, having seen their team beat Southampton this afternoon 3-0 at the London Stadium. We're expecting them to be looking forward to a great encounter for a team that, you know, they are underdogs, but they have stars, you know, and a lot of those players came from some of the top sides last summer. Jane Ross is one of those from Manchester City.
Yeah. Jane Ross is an outstanding striker. She hangs on the centre-back's shoulder. She's intelligent with her run. She has a real eye for goal as well. And Steph Houghton and Jennifer Beattie know a lot about her, and they know that, you know, given her the opportunity, she always scores a goal.
And you know a little bit about playing against her, don't you?
I can't be everywhere. I actually retired after that game, I think, Gabby.
Did you win?
No, I think that game was a draw, I'm going to say.
If I'd been in goal, I'd have been livid at you, Alex, there. Livid.
And Gilly Flaherty, another of those who has great experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And she, you know, she's a typical Londoner, you know, in how she talks, in her attitude, but she's a leader, and she knows what it takes. She's been involved in the England setup previously. She's got a lot of experience in domestic football across different clubs, and absolutely she'll be one of the voices, as Alex said, along with Claire Rafferty. He'll be leading them and kind of telling them what to expect. And
she's won the competition. She understands exactly what it's like for me, and also how these chances don't come around, do they, every season? And grab hold of this,
and to explain it to the foreign players who maybe have not experienced the FA Cup, what it means, like the history. We've all grown up watching it, loving it, and experiencing it, fortunately enough.
It's really coming down now, isn't it? We weren't expecting it perhaps to be coming down this heavily, but I'm sure that will not be dampening the spirits of either set of fans. And for the Sky Blues, well, they look to one name on the team sheet time and time again to lead them, as do England. Steph Houghton, of course, she is there, and she will be hoping that this next few months, I'm sure Phil will be hoping this next few months, is a defining period for her career. And we sent along one of our least experienced interviewers to have a chat.
What else? What have I got next after this one? No, it's all right. Who is it?
Come on, should we go and surprise Auntie Steffi?
Yeah.
Hello! Come here. No. Come on then.
Yeah.
Oh, I like your strip. Can I have a cuddle? Hello, my little man.
And Arsenal have scored, and it's Steph Houghton who got the goal.
You've got your number 6 on, like Steffi?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me have a see what's in your bag. Can you pull out a photo? Oh, who's that?
Alfie.
Alfie, and who else?
Steph.
This is a special photo just mainly because it's the most recent trophy we've won, and you're in it. Wow. This is when Auntie Steffi was a bit younger. This was my first ever FA Cup win. My first year at Arsenal, we beat Bristol 2-0, and obviously great to get your first FA Cup win. What's the next one?
Yeah.
I used to play for these though.
Yeah.
Wow. Who's that?
Yeah.
Man City. And who was that?
Yeah.
Neffy. This was obviously the last time I won the FA Cup, which was at Wembley. First one for Man City. One of the best days ever. I think to play in front of 45,000 people and to win the FA Cup at such a special competition for both men and the women, and the lead up to it, the warm-up, seeing your family in the stands, I think that's the best bit about it, and obviously the celebrations after weren't too bad either. Hopefully we can add an extra win as well. You have been so good, thank you.
Yeah.
Have a kiss. Go away, Man City, and we're going to Wembley.
Yeah.
Go on, come on, City.
Come on, City.
Yes, come on, City.
Come on.
Thanks, Alfie. Yeah.
Well, he was a lot more succinct than a lot of our interviewers, wasn't he? He got a lot of good stuff out there, and as a result, he's got himself a good seat today as well. His mum, Sophie, there, who was just rubbing his leg, used to play, of course, with Steph for Leeds, and they're very, very good friends, supporting her bestie here today. And Steph Houghton is, you know, she's been captain now for England for so many seasons, 5 seasons, I think, and she's just one of those players that you look to for. She's reliable, and she's so solid. You must love having her as your captain.
I think when I took over, people said, would I change the captaincy, and it was never in my question, really. You talk about consistent players, you talk about someone that's got the utmost respect from everyone within the squad. I actually think she's had her best ever season in terms of her consistency, and hopefully in 6 weeks' time she'll be getting her hands on another trophy.
Well, in that squad, of course, a young player who's burst onto the scene really in the last season, Georgia Stanway, who we saw this wonderful tweet she put out, which just shows you that kind of, you know, if you see your heroes, if you meet your heroes, you can be your heroes. And she put this fantastic tweet out. This was them 6 years ago. She was having a picture with Steph, and there she is today, lining up alongside her, Rachel, in an FA Cup final. It kind of brings a tear to the eye, doesn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful, and for all young girls and young boys who are here today, that's what it's all about. It's about, you know, being able to sort of realise your dreams, exactly as Georgia has done. And, you know, she's a real talent, and when Phil finally announces his squad, we'll find out whether she's
selected.
4 days' time, you brought it up. 4 days' time, Phil, I'm sure you pretty much know all those names by now. Is a chance for anybody to play themselves right into that squad, or have you pretty much put the ink down?
No, I've got the squad in my mind. I think what I want to see today, I want to see 6 weeks' time we're going to be going to a World Cup with full stadiums, and I want to see how they can handle the occasion today and play in front of a big crowd and play the way that, you know, I know that they can. So good luck next week if they're in the squad. Well,
good luck you in announcing, and thank you so much for joining today. I know you're going to head up to some expensive seats somewhere out of the rain.
I'm actually in the away end there, you know.
Well, enjoy your afternoon because it really is a wonderful occasion. Record crowds expected here. The match is almost upon us. The players are in the tunnel. The excitement is building, and we know there are some big A-listers backing these teams as well.
Hello to everyone at West Ham. Me and my daughter will be rooting for you today, so come on!
So without further ado, let's hand you over to your commentary team this afternoon. Former England internationals Casey Stoney and Sue Smith, and the one and only Jonathan Pearce.
Yes, thanks very much, Gabby. Afternoon, everyone. It isn't a good one, is it? Not typical cup final weather, raining, a cruel slice on a sharp, unpredictable wind too. But Women's FA Cup final day gets bigger and bigger, and it will certainly be the biggest shock in the recent history of the competition. If West Ham, walking out there to the left of your picture, 7-1 against slow hopers with the bookies, were to beat the 2017 Cup winners who've already won the Continental Cup this season, and also have a league double over the Hammers, who lost 7-1 away in Manchester this season earlier, as we've heard. 11 current top internationals in the City side, 13 Cup winners' medals between them. They have one of the biggest budgets in the world of women's club football. West Ham in their first professional season, one or two of their players trying to make it back to the top after leaving major clubs. Jane Ross last season at City, one of those of course, and one of a very good front trio at West Ham. Now, make no mistake, if they settle quickly here, Sue, they can spring a major surprise.
Oh, definitely. You know, City, you would say, are favourites with the experience that they've got and the fact that they've already beaten West Ham twice convincingly this season. But what Matt Beard will have done, he'll have instilled the real belief into the players that they can go out and spring a surprise.
Oh, the players down pitch side, just getting ready now for the honour party to come out. It'll be a nervy moment for them, but Steph Horton has seen it all before. Greg Clark, the FA chairman, Sue Hoff, the chairman of the FA Women's Committee. Elaine Oram is down there, the vice chairman of the FA Women's Committee. Ellen May, CB, from the sponsors SSE. What will be going through the players' minds down there?
Well, it's a little bit of nerves, a bit of excitement. I think you think West Ham, they have to try and play the game rather than the occasion, because I think that's something that you do experience as a player the first time that you play here or the first time you play in front of a big crowd. It is that emotion. You've got to try and control them and just think about what you've got to do on the pitch.
Casey, before we get to the anthem, quick word from you on how it's going to go.
I have to see a Man City win. I think individually and collectively they're stronger. They've experienced cup finals before, and I think West Ham will need to stop Kira Walsh playing and stifle Man City to even have a chance.
Now speaks the Manchester United manager. Well done to you.
Thank you very much.
Looking forward to meeting these next season.
I can't wait. New challenge, great challenge for our players and our staff and our club, and it's a great challenge for us and one we're relishing.
Huge experience up here in the commentary box. Not too like myself, of course. And Chili Flaherty down there, huge experience. She's going to be crucial for West Ham United. I mean, look at her record, 7 FA Cup triumphs.
Unbelievable, and she needs to use all of that experience. She's a real leader, and I think the fact she's played for England, she's played in big competitions like this, cup finals before, that experience will certainly help the others.
Well, we've had all sorts of weather here. We had hail early on, we've got bright sunshine now. All the seasons in the last hour as Emily Haig prepares to give us the national anthem. Here's Sir Trevor up there, lovely to see a West Ham United legend who's come here to support his women's side. And there's the young chairman down there as well, Jack Sullivan. It's been a remarkable West Ham story. Here comes the anthem.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen. Set her victorious, happy and
So looking forward to singing today, her 18th appearance here. She was saying on her Twitter feed this morning, see Sue, I'm a modern man, I do the Twitter and all that stuff.
I showed you how to do it.
You did. And we're nearly ready to go. The players, of course, will shake hands. Quick word about the referee there as well. Big day for Abigail Byrne. And a big day for both sides. Manchester City, the same team that beat Chelsea in the semi-final. Bardsley, Beattie, Stoke, Scott and Willett were rested for their only games since then. The league win over Yeovil. Horton's looking for a 4th cup triumph. Beattie was only on the bench here 2 years ago in the win over Birmingham. Weir was only on the bench in Arsenal's 2014 cup final win. Willett's looking to win the cup in a 3rd different country, by the way. Stanway, big week for her, PFA Young Player of the Year. Nikita Parra scored 2 in the 7-1 home win against West Ham this season, and another in the 3-1 away win. West Ham 2 changes from their penalty shootout semi-victory over Reading. Rhea Percival, the New Zealand captain, replaces Lucienne Rijkaard, who suffered a head injury in that semi. She's only fit enough for the bench. Canadian striker Adriana Leon, she's preferred to Ireland's lively Leanne Kiernan. She was unlucky not to start, says Matt Beard. He'll bring her on as an impact sub. And Jane Ross, point to prove, didn't feature here in the final for Manchester City 2 years ago. And despite netting 21 goals in 53 games for the club, she said she needed to move on, Sue. last summer to get games. She hasn't missed one for West Ham. She'll be up against Steph Horton, who of course injured her in the European Championship finals of 2017.
I'm looking forward to that battle. Yeah, I do rate Jane Ross, the way that her movement, her natural ability, the striking ability that she's got, and I suppose playing against your old side as well always helps. But she is that ultimate professional.
They'll meet again in the World Cup finals in the summer if they stay injury-free. There's Georgia Stanley. What a wonderful season she's had, and I know that Phil Neville, who's here today, just a few days to mull over his England selection, is a big fan.
Oh yeah, so my young player, progressed through the England ranks, good on the ball, can see a pass, and don't be, you know, sort of surprised if she scores one of those long-range efforts that we've seen her do on many occasions.
Abigail Byrne, there, the referee from the Suffolk FA. Sean Macielis, you'll know her. She runs the line in the Premier League. Mel Burgeon, the other assistant referee. Lisa Ben is the fourth official. She's operated in the WSL, Abigail, since 2016. And the biggest day in her life. Well, he's been here before as a victor, the manager of Manchester City. And he would be anticipating another victory according to the bookies. But Matt Beard has other ideas, and he could have won it here in the cup final when Chelsea went to penalties against Birmingham. Had a chance to win it in the 90th minute, went to penalties, and they lost 3-2. What he's done with West Ham this season is absolutely remarkable, sir.
It really is. He deserves a lot of credit, gets the best out of his team, and he's assembled a team together so quickly, and they seem to have that real team togetherness. To get to a final at the first season is fantastic.
Off we go then with Manchester City, of course famously in the sky blue and white, kicking from right to left in this first half. The crowd expected to be a record, beating the tally of last season. They were talking about a 50-odd thousand crowd. Looking around, I don't think there were as many as that in the stadium, but we are expecting West Ham fans to arrive belatedly, having been at the London Stadium for the Irons' last Premier League game of the campaign, beating Southampton earlier on. Being a Wimbledon fan when he was a boy, and he remembers watching the great cup final triumph over Liverpool. Early field of the ball and clearance away at the back for West Ham United. Centre-back duo Flaherty and Brooke Hendricks from Georgia in the United States of America. He's England's captain, Karen Bardsley, England's #1 at the last World Cup finals. Is Jennifer Beattie, who celebrated her birthday here a couple of years ago when Manchester City lifted the trophy, but she was only on the bench. Jill Scott won the cup for Everton and for Manchester City. And such an influential player, both on and off the field of play for her team, Jill Scott.
Yeah, she is. Everybody loves her. You know, I think whether it's international football, whether it's club football, she just brings something to the side.
Feel of the ball for Anna Morehouse. Semi-final penalty shootout hero against Reading. She sat on the bench for Arsenal in the cup final last season when they lost. And here's Gilly Flaherty, her 4th Wembley FA Cup final. Brought into West Ham in the summer as a leader. And Matt Beard had a very short time to create a team and brought all of these players in. They were promoted 2 divisions effectively into the WSL from the 3rd tier after making a successful application. Headed down by Flaherty, and here's Claire Rafferty. Remarkable in her own way, Claire, in that she's had not 1, not 2, but 3 serious ACL injuries to overcome.
Mentally so strong to keep coming back from that, and she's been a real quality performer for West Ham this season. Great left foot, great delivery.
Flaherty again, West Ham will push the centre-backs out wide to receive the ball, and when they do so, you watch Ria Percival, the number 2, the New Zealand captain, dropping back in there, look, to cover any threat of a counter from the likes of Nikita Parris. Massive week for her. Football Writers Footballer of the Year, what an honour. She won it by 1 vote.
Well,
I voted for her, actually.
Yeah, and me.
Maybe it was the one.
Could have been me.
It's down to me.
Do you know what? She's had a fantastic season. She really has, really deserves that. Just an exciting player, full of pace. You can see there she's looking to get in between the 2 centre-halves, and straight away she's on the half-turn. She's ready to drive at the defenders.
Still Jill Scott underneath that. Percival with the challenge again. It's over the head of Horton. Horton is in behind. Very tight to the line to try that. But a little error of judgment there at the back.
It was, and again, great anticipation from Jane Ross. We spoke about her before the game, saying she is key to West Ham. Her movement, that anticipation, you know, as the ball goes over the top, that's what she'll be looking to do. So Steph Horton goes. Jem Beattie does well, because as Steph Horton goes, she covers, and it's just a big touch out of her feet. But she is the danger player.
Bardsley, West Ham pressing high, and Manchester City playing out from that deep position. They all want to do that, very much in the same way that the men's team play. And there's a chance now for Caroline Weir, Scottish international. That's a good covering by Erin Simon. From New Jersey, and ever present in this cup run. The top teams don't come in until the 4th round of the competition. Sort of thought they might come in a round earlier. Would you like to see them coming in earlier in the competition? The WSL teams, the top teams, giving a chance of an upset or two, Sue?
Yeah, why not? I think that would be a good idea.
Font of knowledge. You've done remarkably well to get here actually today, Sue, haven't you, driving down? You had a bit of traffic problem, didn't you, getting into the ground? Where exactly were you stuck in traffic? The car park area, weren't you?
Yeah, I was,
How far is that from the ground? 75 yards? 100 yards?
Apparently Casey was stuck in the same traffic.
Well, I shall ask her to verify that later on. Headed away. And here's Brooke Hendricks around the corner. Decent ball through by Cho. He's a gifted player, the South Korean international. And it should be Karen Bardsley. Been watched by the England coach today. An important day for Karen Bardsley as well to, I think she'd be in the squad of course, but to justify maybe going to the World Cup as England's number 1.
Yeah, definitely. I thought she was excellent in the semi-final against Chelsea. Pulled off a couple of very, very good saves. And yeah, I would say she was a certainty to go. But it's good that there is that competition for that number 1 spot.
Hendricks down the line. Easy here for Steph Horton, who was also recognised with a special award at the PFA Honours Night. She has had to have a lot of responsibility on her shoulders as national and Manchester City captain, and of course husband Stephen diagnosed with a serious illness shortly after their wedding, and she too has played with great dignity and strength over the last 12 months.
Real inspiration. Steph Horton, everything, like you say, she's had to deal with off the field, and such a leader and quality player on the pitch. Utmost respect for her, and again, well deserved that award.
0-0, never been a 0-0 draw in the Women's FA Cup final. And here's Nikita Parris, her first main chance to outstrip the defence and get a shot away and goal. Fair challenge. Well, the Manchester City striker is unhappy and looks to the assistant referee, but for me, initial reaction was that Gilly Flaherty, I think it was, timed it well.
I have to agree with you, JP. It's a great ball through. Sees Nikita Parris, knows she's got the pace, and straight away she's just going towards goal. Gilly Flaherty, what a challenge that is, wins the ball well. You can see better from that position. I think it's a good challenge.
Manchester City with the corner in the 9th minute. Scott. Deep cross into the box. Just eased away back there by Cho. And the counter is possibly on. Benny Stokes comes across to cover. This is Katie Longhurst for West Ham United. And there's Horton again, who read that danger and got it away.
Kate Longhurst is another player who's had a very good season for West Ham. Really tenacious, but will get forward as well at every opportunity.
Well, she has played for him before at Liverpool, where they won 2 titles together. Couldn't get the shot away there. There's another talented player up front for West Ham United in Adriana Leon, the Canadian international. Just watch out for her, she's wearing 19. Here's Steph Horton. Jennifer Beattie, daughter of the Lions and Scotland legend John and sister of Johnny, Scottish international rugby hero. Stanway for Manchester City, back to Kira Walsh, who has emerged in the last 12 months as a hugely important player for club and country. Michelle Lehmann wearing 7 for West Ham. I've seen a lot of the Swiss international who's just had a contract extension, but she's had a terrific season as well and ever present. Scored 9 goals. Here's Horton. West Ham have found scoring tricky of late, just 6 in the last 6 games. They normally nick 1 in a match, at least. They've scored in 14 of their last 17. And they need 2 at least to beat Manchester City today.
Certainly not sitting back and defending, which I thought they might do. Sit back, defend, keep it quite tight and compact. You know, when the press has been on, they have gone.
And Scott. Demi Stokes, another who's likely to be named in Phil Neville's squad in the week. Although she might not be number 1 in the World Cup. Competition from Alex Greenwood for that left-back role. Bullets trying to find the run of Caroline Weir.
It's unlucky that she just overhit the pass. You could see what she was trying to do.
Matt Beard, big footballing family, they're all here today. Brother Mark was at Millwall and Sheffield United as a player. Coaches at Brighton, his dad Mick introduced him to football. I think Mick was a Manchester United supporter though, if memory serves me correct. And Sullivan's in attendance in numbers. There's David, and it's great to see him here backing this side as well, and they have done. And Matt Beard was actually saying to me in the week, Sue, it's the best football club he's worked with in terms of backing and real support, genuine support for the women's team.
Wow. And he has been at some big clubs.
Chance for Tessa Willett, the Belgian international, to get forward. And here's Schleiman, trickery from the Swiss international. Here's Shaw, another ever present in the cup, scored that decisive penalty against Reading in the semi-final. She has the ability to break between lines. She knows that when she goes forward, Percival will sit back, but Percival's nowhere near chasing back here and chasing down on Paris, and it needed a good stop here from Brooke Hendricks. And the pace of Nikita Paris causing West Ham problems early on.
Good defending again though from West Ham. They get back in numbers.
And now it's their chance to break away. Ross has Leon attacking the penalty spot region now. W. McManus, another player who's had a very good season and will go to the World Cup, one thinks, and can play as a centre-back, does for a country, or right back with sure-footedness for a club.
I think to have that versatility as well is good in a squad, especially when you go to a competition like that. You know, fingers crossed there's no injuries, but if there is, to have a player with ability to play in various positions, it's vital.
Brother still plays, I think. Scott, he was at Crewe and Halifax. Still thinks he plays here. Still think he plays in non-league football. Here's Chambiti. Oh, risky one there to Walsh. It was a poor ball and likewise as well, and that was a big chance for West Ham United for Cho to slip it back into Jane Ross.
A bit sloppy from Manchester City at the back there. And if West Ham had just had that bit of quality in the final third, could have been in.
There's a stretching challenge there by Weir that gives away the free kick. She was subbed with about 20 minutes to go in the semi-final when players were tiring in a wicked wind. Took a freakish own goal to send Manchester City to Wembley and a penalty shootout to bring West Ham here. She will be part of a very dangerous Scottish side against England in the World Cup finals, and a very capable Scottish side. Her next international will be her 50th. Well, he has been at very big clubs, not just talking about Liverpool, but he was at the Boston Breakers side in the USA and at Chelsea as well. Quarter of an hour gone. Here's Weir. Got the pass away. Come here to Stanway. Shot was blocked by Hendricks. Scott. McManus. Breeze beginning to stir again inside Wembley. Manchester City have won the Continental Cup this season. They will finish runners-up in the WSL, even though they were unbeaten. Arsenal have taken the title. Here's Stokes. Weir. Flaherty maybe thought the goalkeeper was going to come. Sensibly, she didn't. Now the ball in behind Paris. Good ball in by Kira Walsh, and the cross behind the goal. Casey, what have you made of the opening 16 minutes?
I think it's been very cagey. Obviously, it's a first cup final for a few of the West Ham players out there. I think because City don't play with a lot of width, it's allowing West Ham to stay nice and compact, and you can see Nikita Paris is trying to work off the shoulder of the two centre-halves because she's quicker than them. But I think if City can play with a little bit more width, they'll open up the gaps between the centre-backs and then they can get in behind.
0-0. Manchester City so difficult to beat. They've only lost one of their last 35 games. It was against Atletico, their only defeat this season back in September in the Champions League, where they disappointed, underachieved. And very rarely failed to score a goal. They've netted in 24 of their last 25 games. West Ham keeping them at bay so far. It switched to Weir coming in off the left-hand side. Paris dropping a little bit deeper. Walsh. West Ham couldn't retain possession there, and Manchester United beginning to squeeze up through the gears, perhaps. Bullet. And Walsh. And now McManus. Paris. Too much weight on that pass on the way through.
got to say the defensive shape though of West Ham is very good, and they're making it difficult for Manchester City to break them down. And as Casey said, that's where you need your width, so that's maybe where you need your fullbacks. If you've got, you know, the two players that are playing your midfield, if you like, they're coming in field, you need the likes of Demi Stokes on one side and Matt Manus on the other to just create a bit of width to be able to get in, because the shape of West Ham defensively is very, very good.
Scott won it in the air. She'll win a lot of ball like that in the game. Manchester City trying to become the 9th different club to win more than a single FA Cup. Arsenal, the record holders, they've won it 14 times. Ross. Here's Walsh. Paris. Oh, she was onside, you know. And Claire Rafferty. They have to stop that supply at source, because if they don't, she's going to get in on one of these runs.
Yeah, definitely. And Keira Walsh, she's key to that. That's somebody that I think Casey highlighted in the opening stages, that they need to stop her, because she's the one that's good. She's got that vision, she's got that awareness. So you've got to get tighter to her, because straight away she's looking up and looking for the pace of Nikita Paris.
Oh, here's a chance, perhaps for Leon. We need to work the ball quicker away from her feet. A little bit sluggish, unaware when it came to the feet of the Ontario-born Canadian international. She's played for Matt Beard before. They were together at Boston. One back by Simon. 20 minutes gone, no goals. We've hardly had a sniff of a chance to talk about, really. Maria Percival, New Zealand international and captain, but she's actually sort of back in home territory. She's a Basildon girl, West Ham territory that is, by the way. She moved over to New Zealand when she was a toddler. Lehman, no free kick given. Steph Horton. Out by Bardsley. Horton had to come and meet it. Vulat. She's got away here from Alicia Lehman. Danger for West Ham. Paris has a runner outside. I didn't see Caroline Weir coming. It's a free kick here for a rushed challenge. Didn't really need to make that tackle there, Flaherty.
I think it was a foul. Yeah, definitely was. Took the player, and as you say, Georgia Stanway's going backwards. You know, just try and hold the player up.
Lovely picture that you saw earlier on in the programme of her getting Steph Horton's autograph at the previous cup final. And interesting article I read this week about Georgia Stanway, that when she finishes playing, she doesn't want to be a coach or a pundit. She wants to be a police officer. And midway through the half. Weir with it. Scored 7 goals this season. I don't think she'll go for goal here. She may well look for Jembiti coming across into the middle of the goal, allowing for a runner in behind, and that's through for a goal kick. And Abby McManus is not happy. She thinks that came off a West Ham player. Was there a touch there? Ooh, might well have glanced Flaherty. Manchester City almost a year unbeaten in domestic football. It was the 12th of May when they lost to Arsenal in 2018 away from home. Unbeaten in domestic football since then, and they were the only team actually to beat Arsenal this season. They're being held by West Ham United. You've seen the spirit in the West Ham dressing room and on the coach away travel in that documentary that's been on the BBC about Jack Sullivan being the youngest boss in football. Spiked with the sort of language, I have to say, that Sue Smith probably used in the coach to away games on occasion. No denial, you will notice there, ladies and gentlemen.
You know that I don't swear. I'm a lady.
Well, your mum's listening, that's why.
Yeah.
You should hear her, by the way, off screen. Yeah, Stokes, it's a good challenge, though. Nice to see Casey here as well. We haven't really spoken since there was a close affair on the on Celebrity Pointless the other year, Sue, and she's never apologised for winning that one. Graham Lasso and I didn't win it, did we, Casey?
No, you didn't. Myself and Hope got to the final, and unfortunately you didn't.
I think we went out fairly early.
I think you were first out, Jonathan.
I think we were. Let's set it better. It was a disgraceful performance. Just to cover there, goes Brooke Hendricks. We expected a few West Ham feats to fill after the chip across from the London Stadium. I did that last night, by the way, and it takes around about 45 minutes if all the tubes are running correctly, and a fair few of them were going to leave West Ham earlier to come here, and I think they've lived up to that promise. And certainly we're edging up towards, I'd say, the 45,000 here for last season's final.
Which is great, and that's what you want. You just want the attendances to keep growing and growing every year.
Poked around the corner. Cross plucked out by the goalkeeper. Good confident keeping there by Anna Morehouse. Waited a fair while to become a #1, Anna Morehouse. She was at Manchester United as a kid. She was at Donny, I think, for a while, wasn't she?
She was, yeah. Pulls off some fantastic saves. So she now seems to have settled herself as that #1 goalkeeper at West Ham.
What time to bring it out then for Manchester City? 0-0 in the cup final. Paris has found room and looks for Stanway. Ooh, flag went up. I think it was a good decision to make, and a fairly easy one. Ripples of applause and mute cheering because the ball's in the back of the net, but flag had already been raised.
It was the right decision. Good play initially from Nikita Parris, just getting in between the lines. You can see there Georgia Stanway just runs offside. But good movement, and again, that's how you're going to break West Ham down. So whether it's going to be out wide or whether it's just getting in between those lines, the defence and the midfield, Nikita Parris does that so well.
And Cushion can use her in a variety of roles. Central midfield, playing the 10 role, wide or through the middle. A versatile player. Stokes. Here's Walsh. Messi in that midfield area. Percival was there to tidy it up back to the goalkeeper, looking to go to a 4th World Cup finals this summer. Percival. Spread well by the goalkeeper to Simon. Giving a chaser to win it back for Cho. Rafferty. Out by Horton. Bit predictable, that delivery up towards Ross. She's unlikely to win those against Steph Horton, although there was that momentary misjudgment very early on in the game by the Manchester City captain. Here's Walsh.
And what you do know is Jane Ross will chase absolutely everything. So if you put the ball into the space, she will chase after it.
It's ball by Manchester City, and gobbled up by Simon, and she'll look to get the return from Ross. It's a good ball wide for her, in comes across. Ross attacks it! Brilliant save, Bardsley, outstanding. Best move of the game by a mile, and West Ham denied by the England keeper. Lovely approach work, terrific header, very good save.
That's a great move from West Ham. What a delivery. Great movement from Jane Ross as the ball comes out here. Perfect delivery into the box. Jane Ross gets in between. It's a decent header, but what a save from Karen Bardsley. Absolutely fantastic. Point blank range, has to react quickly, and that's what she can do. Great agility, but Jane Ross knows it was a real opportunity, a big chance.
Really agile goalkeeping by the Californian-born England #1 keeper. In the 30th minute, Flaherty was up there, but always dependable to get it away. Manchester City cleared their lines in the air through Jill Scott once again, but here come West Ham. Good steady pressure. Cho with the ball in. Isn't the best of deliveries. He switches to her left foot again. Horton attacked that and was fouled in the air, I would think, by Flaherty. The referee is saying it's okay, both down, and the ref stops it. And my first impression, it was a foul.
I thought it was a clash of heads, but Steph looks like she's winded maybe.
Gilly Flaherty is made of tough stuff. So too is a former England colleague. Oh, it wasn't a foul.
No, it wasn't. Both just going for the ball, eyes on the ball.
Casey, lovely movement by West Ham a moment ago, the best of the game.
Yeah, fantastic. I think that's the way they're going to score. They're going to have to win it, play on the counter-attack, and I thought it was a great give and go by Simon on the right, and she puts a great delivery, and I think it is a good header by Ross, but I think she'll be disappointed she didn't make a better contact, and then Karen Bardsley doesn't even have a chance with a save if she gets a better contact on it.
Was there a nice reception, by the way, at the end of Pointless after that? A nice few sandwiches or whatever, and a glass of champagne. There was a quick corridor and a taxi home from me and Graham Nassau.
We didn't actually win the final, so unfortunately not. We just took home a paperweight.
We went home with nothing but disgrace. Away by Flaherty. Foul given. BT on Ross, Scottish teammates of course. This competition has developed in such a way since it came to Wembley in the last 5 years, but before then 1971 was the first final. Southampton won it. They beat Stewarton and Thistle from Scotland. And now Kilmarnock ladies. It was played at Crystal Palace, the National Sports Centre down south of the river. 4-1. Horton gets it away, and it was a chance. Ooh, that's offside. Real opportunity. First ball drops to Leon, and her shot wasn't hit well, and Brooke Hendricks was in an offside position anyway.
Yeah, she definitely was in an offside position, but you can see as the delivery comes in, no offside there. Part clearance from Steph, and as it falls to Leon, just a bit of a scuffed shot. Can't quite get over, well, she gets over the ball, she can't quite get any power on it.
Joined in January, did Adriana Leon from the Seattle Reign Club. Has 3 goals in 8 games for West Ham, who are making a real game of it here. It's Leon again. The support was from Cho, and it's a West Ham United corner, and Manchester City, the red-hot favourites, odds on, are being hard-pressed.
I just think that chance has given them so much confidence. You know, they're now trying things, they're committing more players forward. I just think with this pressure they need a goal.
And it swings, and Parsley chose to punch. By Percival. Personally comes through to Lehman. She edged it forward, looking for Ross. Manchester City rather scrambly at the back. Oh, there's a foot got in there. I think it was Jill Scott on Lehman. Or was it Abby McManus on Lehman? But anyway, the referee was unimpressed. And Manchester City come forward. Totally unimpressed, the referee.
I was going to say, I'd really like to see that again.
No,
Don't know, no contact. No contact at all. From where we were, it actually looked... I think when you dive in like that, you always give the referee a decision to make, but yeah, it certainly was the right decision there.
Well, I think the West Ham player was naughty there, so I have to say. Look at that again.
That's something you don't really see in women's football. Whether she thought the challenge was coming in, so went down.
Well, both Scott and McManus were there for Manchester City. I don't think there was any contact at all. Here's Weir. Back to her. Did well to turn into space. Danny Stokes was up inside the West Ham United penalty area. And now here is Lehman, who switched across to this right-hand side. Poor ball to Ross. Little more than 10 minutes left in the first half, and West Ham will have surprised many people already by going toe-to-toe with Manchester City and keeping it 0-0 at this stage. And Matt Beard was saying they're not going to run before they can walk at West Ham United. They've done better than expected in this first season. As a professional side, as a WSL side, steered away by Hendricks. And the player picked up in the summer. She was at Brescia in Italian football. She was a cup runner-up there against Fiorentina. They were runner-up in the league as well, I think. Is this a penalty? Let's have another look at it again, maybe in a minute.
I think you can see both players go in. I can't see any contact at all.
She dived soon. Dived. And that's, as you said, you just don't see that in the women's game. That has surprised me. Here's Horton. BT, Stokes, Weir, Stokes. Tight to the line to get it down to Stokes. Here's Lehman, run out of play. Stokes with the throw. She, I'm sure, will be part of the England squad named on Wednesday. This is good skill by Stanway. And she got a shot away, possibly wishes she didn't because it went well wide, but I'm sure she'll be in Phil Neville's squad named on Wednesday, I think it is, and you can see the whole of the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup across the BBC from the opening game, which is France against South Korea, June the 7th. England, Scotland, of course, on the 9th, 4:30 from down in Nice, which should be nice to be there for a couple of days.
It certainly will. And that'd be a really tough game for England. Despite what the FIFA rankings say, that will be really difficult. In really good form, Scotland, and have some very good players, as we can see here.
Lead away by Rafferty. Scott. Angled around the corner by Walsh, just opened the face of a boot up a little bit too much. cutaway pass was too fine. But Manus. Away by Rafferty. No goals, and West Ham United have had the best opportunity of the first half. Here's Scott. In terms of fitness levels, Sue, as the game goes on, who do you expect to be stronger?
Well, I've been really impressed with West Ham's effort and endeavour, the way they're working hard to get back into shape, the way that when they go forward, they're trying to get players forward. But you probably would say Manchester City just because of the amount of time that they have been full-time professionals. I'm sure Matt Beard will have had West Ham working hard on that fitness element.
Paris. To get it around that corner again. Here's Jill Scott. It's a very good block. There, Rafferty got across to block it. She wasn't the only West Ham player who dived for the ball to get the block in. Jill Scott is such a danger when she gets into that sort of position.
Yeah, she is, and she likes to get forward at every opportunity. But again, it's just bodies on the line, isn't it? That's what West Ham are prepared to do. Both Rafferty and Flaherty there, getting across. Good defending.
Missed the penalty in the 2012 final for Chelsea. Both, of course, former Chelsea stalwarts. That free kick is drilled in. Good corner kick it was, drilled in. Flat. And it was fizzing on into the box. It was well dealt with by West Ham United. Cross back in by Bullets and out to Walsh. Runs the Belgian international again. A higher cross this time. Morehouse with the punch. Rafferty, is it Rafferty who stayed down there?
Yeah, I think it is. Morehouse came out, had to take out the defender as well. And that's what goalkeepers do. You know, good delivery into the box, and she makes the right decision. Morehouse comes out, just clatters both players. Has to do it though.
Technically good player, but is she mobile enough for you from in a wide position? She's let's compare it to when Paris plays wide for England or Duggan plays wide for England on the other side. Good pass with the ball. That's a decent ball into the box. Is she mobile enough for you?
Well, her strengths are on the ball, so technically she's very gifted. She can see a pass. You could probably say that about Caroline Weir. Is she mobile enough on that side? There's different types of players. You know, they come in field and try to get involved in the middle of the park.
You were a little jinking dribbler with the ball, weren't you? At your paciest best. Shorts down to the ankles. Shirt down to the ankles.
That's just today.
Here comes the cross. It's a good ball in as well by Leon. BT was comfortable and cool. That was dangerous because Stanmer would have been away. Walsh tried to find her. It's Katie Longhurst who's taken the blow in there. The block in. Just winded. Lifelong West Ham fan is Katie. Comes from the Essex area. She's just winded. Casey would have a laugh with Sue, of course, but and I've said this beforehand. We're here at Wembley for a Women's FA Cup final, and I think it's important to play up the role of the likes of Sue and Kelly Smith and players like yourself as well, the sort of pioneers, if you like, of the game, because you couldn't possibly have seen this happen a decade ago. What's happened to the women's game?
No, absolutely not. That's what I say to my players. They're here today because of what the players have done before, you know, and those players played for the love of the game, you know, without getting paid off and having to pay to play on facilities a lot far worse off than today. So to see the women's game where it is today on this rightful stage at Wembley is fantastic, and it is, like you say, it's credit to all those people that have gone before, that put in the hard work to enable this to be able to happen.
You've seen those pictures of Sue with her England kit, her first England kit on. You need to have a look at them on Twitter or wherever. It's hilarious.
I have seen them, yeah, and also the photo from was it 2001 with the sunglasses?
Yeah, we won't talk about that. You're supposed to stick up for me.
Sorry.
No chance. We've had an agreement. Now Manchester City in possession. chilly old day in the shade at Wembley with the wind. Here's Ross. Rafferty making himself available again. All too long for Cho and out of play. No, he's unhappy with that. He's a demanding coach. And a terrific coach as well. Not so long ago when he was tipped to be a future England manager. Comes from the South London area, from Roehampton. Nick Cushing. Both of them have done the groundwork at their respective profession. Nick came up through the Manchester City Academy, earning his A licence, and Matt Beard was at the likes of Charlton and Millwall Lionesses. I think he took Millwall to promotion from the old southern section of the National League setup. A while ago, that is Scott. Oh, it's a poor clearance away. Paris couldn't make good though for Manchester City. That's their first opportunity of the game so far, really.
It is, and I think it was Flaherty. She was stretching for it, thought she had to get a touch on it. Jill Scott, tenacious play, getting the ball into the box, and she thought she just needed to get a touch, because I think it would have fell to Georgia Stanway otherwise, but that touch fell straight to Nikita Paris on her left foot. You just think a little bit cool, calm there in front of goal. Because of how good she's been, I expect her to at least test the goalkeeper from there.
Casey's just disappearing from the commentary position. You'll see her at half-time pitch side. And now it's away by Rafferty. A minute of stoppage time announced. In a first half, Sue, of scampering, of nerves, of precious few opportunities. The one for West Ham, the best of the game, the save by Bartley, the one for Manchester City moments ago by Paris, but it's not lived up to FA Cup final billing.
No, I've been really impressed with West Ham though, and how they've applied themselves. I think everybody's been saying Manchester City clear favourites, which they are, because of how they dominated them in those league games, but I think they've done excellent defensively, and like you mentioned, they've created probably the best opportunity, and Jane Ross will be disappointed that she didn't score that, but you have to praise Karen Barsley. Fantastic save.
Yeah, that's a really fair point actually, and West Ham United deserve the praise for sticking in with this. 7-1, they were beaten in Manchester earlier this season. That will have haunted them for many a week. But Matt Beard has got them together, more cohesive, upwardly mobile. They only lost the return 3-1. And they've shown enough evidence in this first 46 minutes that they can win this. We will be happy with the way things are going. The happier of the two coaches, that's for sure. They were talking at length together before the game kicked off. They were very close together in the centre circle, and there's in old parlance, not a cigarette paper between the two sides as they go off at half-time. She made the best save of the game to deny Jane Ross. No goals in it though at the break. It's Manchester City 0, West Ham United 0 in the FA Cup final of 2019.
Caroline Weir has to get in the game for Man City if she wants to do anything. Otherwise, I can see her being one of the first changes.
And for West Ham, more of the same, because it was at both ends of the pitch that they were causing problems.
Yeah, great performance in the first half, but you need to keep those levels of concentration as well is going to be key, because City are used to this. They'll find a way back into it. So it's about every single one of those players now keeping concentrated. You don't want individual mistakes.
And this is for, I suppose, the likes of Phil Neville as well, watching 8 England internationals on that pitch, producing the kinds of performances that are going to see them get through the group, get through those tricky matches in a World Cup. This is where your experience counts.
That's it, and he'll be looking at this as an international test. You let up, you lose concentration for any second in an international game, you get punished. So he'll be looking for that from all the Manchester City players to see if they can maintain that concentration.
Well, interestingly, Manchester City were out well before West Ham. They were in that dressing room for a little bit longer, and well they might, Jonathan Pearce, because as is the way with us in this studio on the pitch, the heavens opened as soon as we arrived here, so expect it to dry up shortly when we leave.
Yes, I can see you down there on the pitch, Gabby. It's good to see you wet in the rain. Sue and I very dry up here for the second half, and it's been fairly warm for us up here on the gantry. The West Ham players in the little huddle down there and getting ready for the second half of an FA Cup final. They have really made very competitive. Quick mention for a man called Roger Morgan, who was the football and community officer at West Ham United when he suggested they form a women's side in 1991. So he was a big football man, Roger, and a big West Ham man, and I think he deserves mention today as we prepare for the second half and get it off and underway with West Ham United in the claret and white shorts and Manchester City in the sky blue. Nikita Paris out to Pullets, and back it goes then to McManus. West Ham United's recent scoring problems have returned, but they did have that first half chance, the best chance of the game. Weir hasn't really been a major player in the game, but this will be interesting if they can get Demi Stokes higher down the flank and on the right hand side McManus as well. They need to do that soon.
Yeah, they definitely need to do that, because like I said, Weir will come infield to try and just link up with Georgia Stanway and Nikita Paris, and on the other side exactly the same thing with Vullart. So you need Demi Stokes, you need Amy McManus to create that width.
Been a remarkable rise for West Ham United from the WPL South, the Greater London Regional League and competitions like that. Here they are at Wembley, but they're under pressure now. Stanway, it's deflected high off Claire Rafferty. To resurrect her career at West Ham, Rafferty, she was England's left back at the World Cup in Canada, played very well there. She was she judged to giving away the penalty against Japan in the semi-final. Here in the penalty area, Scott has pulled it back and it's a chance for Weir, and there was no composure there at all.
She has to do better. Great play from Jill Scott. I said in the first half how tenacious she is. She keeps going, chases lost causes, and she does that here. You think, is she going to get to it? Yes, she uses all her strength, and then to have that awareness and vision to pick out Weir, and she has to do better. There's nobody around her, nobody closing her down, even got time to take a touch.
Casey's rejoined us. Casey, good to see you've raced up from the pitch side. Now, it wasn't me up here that said you wouldn't have enough pace to get back to the commentary position, but
you know me too well.
But you got back up here, and how do you see it going in the second half then?
I think, I'll be honest, I still think it's Man City's to win. I think they've spent more time with the ball and West Ham without it. West Ham will tire if they don't look after the ball a bit better. But I think if they can get Kiernan on the pitch at some point in West Ham, she's got an awful lot of pace on the counter. I think that's their best way of getting a goal. But Man City have got all sorts of players that can cause West Ham problems. They've just got to attack more. I think get more numbers further forward, and commit a few more numbers into the box when they are getting up there.
Well, certainly Matt Beard believed when he spoke to me in the week that Jan Kiernan would have a massive impact in this final from the bench in the second half. He's scored 6 goals this season. 3 of them came in one cup tie against Huddersfield. A hat-trick, hero of that game. Here's Walsh for Manchester City. Not a good ball forward by her. Ross. Mountains across there to guard the situation. Steady display again. She's had a terrific season. Manchester City yet to concede a goal in this competition. At Watford, home to Watford I should say, 3-0. Tottenham 3-0. Liverpool in the quarter 3-0, and then Chelsea with the own goal. Under pressure here now, though. Raymond with the ball into the penalty area. Leon gave chase, and it's away for a Manchester City throw, despite the protest of Katie Longhurst. Pitch freshened by another downpour. And the referee's just having a long chat there with Katie Longhurst about the descent. And again, we saw a dive in the first half, and we've seen a little bit of descent there, and it's just something you don't see too often in the women's game. Here's Ria Percival with a shot, hit dummy Stokes. Good ball around the corner by Leon. Couldn't get to the return by Chad. It's one of the most refreshing things that I've come across in my experience of covering the women's game is the fact you don't see descent.
No, you don't at all. But I think Kate Longhurst is more of a. She's just really passionate about the game, and I think she probably's just got a little bit overexcited there.
Leon, talented player, if they can get her on the ball. It's a good challenge by Scott to Paris, and now Stanway. So run at Flaherty, pulled it square, opportunity for Walsh. She's scuffed it wide. Now I think she sees Nikita Paris coming up in her peripheral vision and got a bit flummoxed by her own player arriving in that tight area.
Yeah, it's just been that final shot from Manchester City, you know, not clinical enough, and again, that isn't like Manchester City. Another option. Yeah, you could see, yeah, Nikita Paris is there, and I think she's telling her to have it, you take it, you're in a good position. Caroline Weir was actually outside of her, who would have had a free shot on target as another option, but you would never expect a player to pass in that position.
Nikita Paris, 30 goals in her last 28 games for the club. Top scorer, highest scorer in WSL football in its history. There's McManus. A little bit of a buzz about Manchester City now. By Bullet, who hasn't made best use of the ball. Here's Stokes. Lehman is there with her. Scott is in support, lifts ahead, finds her England colleague. Here's Walsh, skips beyond the challenge, got the shot away, horrible deflection, and in, a Manchester City lead. 6 minutes into the second half, West Ham undone by a cruel deflection. He won't mind one jot, his team lead.
You could see it was coming. Manchester City come out this second half much better. You know, they've started higher up the field, they've put a lot more pressure on West Ham, and I want to see it again, but it does look like a massive deflection that just wrong foots Anna Morehouse. Seems like she's going to go one way, just can't quite move her feet quick enough. You can see here, so as Jill Scott gets it, plays the ball out to Kira Walsh. Good first touch out of her feet. She's only got one thing on her mind. Oh, our goalkeeper's got to do better. So as the ball comes in, it's a good touch out of her feet. And as she takes it, does it take a deflection? I don't know.
I don't know whether it was deflected or just moved in the air cruelly.
I think it did. I still think Anna Morehouse will be really disappointed with that.
Well, she doesn't get many goals, does she? But she's got a crucial one, the biggest one of her life. It's only the third in her Manchester City career, and Kira Walsh with the strike, and Manchester City lead it.
I definitely think the goalkeeper's got to do better there. I think the defenders can block better in terms of the shot. You know, if they don't turn side on, they probably get a block on, and then the goalkeeper gets two hands to it. She's got to push it around the post or push it into safety.
Well, it certainly didn't look from the replay as if there was a deflection. But to be beaten from that range with that sort of a shot, there has to be question marks about Anna Morehouse's keeping, I would think. Let's just confirm it from here. So I think it goes cleanly in, but weirdly in.
It's too easy initially, the way she skips past Kate Longhurst, and then nobody else closes her down, which makes her think, right, I'm having a shot. But yeah, goalkeeper has to do better. Like you say, from that distance, not that much power or precision on it. She gets there, but just can't push it around the post.
She's become so massively important for club and country. She's only 21. Here's Ross. Lehman couldn't get to it, and the challenge against Stokes would suggest that Lehman is tiring. There's no great energy in it, and there's no great energy in four West Ham players who are left upfield, and they're not covering back here. Stanway for Manchester City. Next 5 minutes are crucial in this FA Cup final. Here's McManus with the cross. They're waiting in the middle for the delivery. Comes off Rafferty. And Stanway over the bar.
I think West Ham have got a reset here. They're disorganised. They're all over the place defensively. You know, they've got to get hold of the ball and keep the ball for 5 minutes, get themselves back in the game, give themselves a chance to get momentum back and keep City out for an extra 5, because otherwise I think City could have a chance to score again.
West Ham suddenly look not dejected, but physically tiring.
They put so much into that first half. I thought it'd be a little bit later on in the second half where they'd start to fatigue, but sometimes that goal as well, you know, when you lose a goal like that you know's an error, your heads do go, your shoulders go, and that makes you then feel a little bit tired.
I think also having played on this pitch, and people talk about it all the time, and the emotion of the occasion, it does drain you. You know, and there's a lot of players in that West Ham team that have never played in this cup final before. The emotions before the game, the size of the pitch, you know, it does sap your legs, and it looks like that to me now with this West Ham team. You know, if I was Matthew Beard, I'd be looking at making a couple of changes.
Well, she'll want to see this again and again. However it went in, doesn't matter for Kira Walsh. Had a look, had an effort, and it veered in the air. Horribly for Anna Morehouse, past home. 1-0 to Manchester City. First shot on target in the game.
I suppose we've got to praise Kira Walsh as well, the fact that she took the shot on, you know, her initial little bit of skill to get away from Kate Longhurst.
Kira Walsh presumably will feature in the England warm-up games for the World Cup against Denmark on Saturday 25th of May. That's in Warsaw, 12:45 Jonathan, New Zealand. That's down at the Amex in Brighton a week later. I know tickets are still available for both of those games. And the FA would love you to support the national team going to the World Cup finals. Both those games and the whole of the World Cup finals live right here on the BBC. Definitely played down the line by Vullert. Stanway. This veers away. And he'll be delighted with not just the goal, but the way they came out for this second half. There was a spring in their step. And you wouldn't back against them now, making it 24 games unbeaten and 32 matches in almost a year in domestic football.
It's an incredible record, isn't it? And I think Nick Cushion will have said at half-time it wasn't good enough. You know, the passing wasn't crisp enough, the movement wasn't good enough, and they've certainly come out different.
Here's Paris. They are also snapping into the challenges in this second half. Arrived. Got a bit of a problem, Manchester City. Off the ball is Stanway. Paris. Weir. Stanway's okay now, plodding through the middle. Weir. Rafferty goes to ground and timed it well. Yana Visali, I think, is getting ready to come on for West Ham. He's an attacking midfield player from California. Leon's gone down a little bit easily, but it was contact from Jill Scott. Is she going to get cautioned here, Jill Scott? Oh, she's going to get booked for that. Not too sure whether it was a yellow card offence, but she certainly stopped Leon. That's a booking, Sue?
On first look, I didn't think it was. I thought it was a free kick. Didn't think it was a booking. You can see it again here. So Jill Scott, she loses the ball, trying to get back. I think that's harsh.
Joe with the free kick into the box. Horton is there. And here's Paris. Lehman clipped her heels. I think Manchester City might turn around and say, why was that? Nikita Paris has just pointed out to the referee the spot on the field of play where Jill Scott got the yellow card, and so to say, why yellow for one and not there for Alicia Lehmann.
So you need the consistency, isn't it? I think that's what frustrates players when that happens.
Oh, that's a painful one, scraped across the Achilles. Towards Nikita Paris, handed down by Flaherty. Stanway moving either side of her. Weir was waiting for the ball. Stanway didn't release it. Here's Bullet. Oh, the goalkeeper was in trouble there. Too sure whether she wanted to punch or catch. Put in two minds and nearly created problems. And we're still playing on here, although West Ham felt there was an infringement. Here's Beattie. That's not a particularly sensible ball, but it's not out of play. Just a bit of confusion over there between Scott and Weir, who has it now. Away by Simon. Casey, they're going to think of a substitution. Come to you in a second on this. This was the ball in. The goalkeeper seemed to get caught in two minds. But what do you think they need to do here now, Manchester City?
Well, I thought
coming
that was
close there. West Ham are going to make a substitution.
I thought that was a penalty. I think West Ham need pace on the pitch, so I think Kiernan needs to come on, and obviously they're bringing on Vasali now, who's a busy midfielder, and she'll bring energy in there, but I think they need pace to get beyond City's back line and get out, because at the moment they're camped in and they can't get out.
Referee's gone straight down the tunnel. It's all Manchester City at the moment. There's the drive, well wide by Bullet.
So obviously Percival's gone back to her natural position of fullback, so she's gone in at right back. Vasali's come in midfield, and she will bring energy in there, and I think they need that because City are on top of the game. And I think Matthew will be looking at bringing on another sub very soon. They're warming up, they're warming up as if they're coming on down there.
Vasali underneath that one. There's Walsh, Stokes, and Samway up alongside Flaherty. Away by Hendricks. There's no great available out ball for West Ham United as they start to defend deeper and deeper.
And that's the problem, because it just comes straight back.
Paris made a great run there to anticipate that ball. Played through, didn't come to her. Walsh does now. Find Bullet and Stanway. McManus scuffed cross into the middle. Scuffed also in there by Stanway, who started to look a little bit tired. And Horton easily wins that one.
Yeah, Ross will chase for you, but he doesn't want that type of ball. Have a look where she is in comparison to Steph Horton. Give the ball to her feet if you can. But they do need that pace, that if Jane Ross does come to feet, you need that pace in behind, just to give them an outlet.
He's worked hard, Ross, but I think they need to change it. And Kiernan is getting ready to come on as Manchester City look to set Stanway away. Keeper came.
I think potentially West Ham could be flipping to a 4-4-2, where they've got central threats down the middle where someone can come and get on it and someone can go beyond, because they're not using the wide areas anyway.
Ross does depart, and Jan Kiernan comes on, an Irish 20-year-old. She's a sparky player. Can play wide, she plays through the middle. She's lively in the dressing room, they tell me. Full of spirit, she's got 6 goals. Joined from Shelbourne last summer, where she scored 37 in 3 years, won the Cup in Ireland.
I think that's a good move from Matt Beard. Different option, quick, got a trick up her sleeve, and a player that can really affect the game.
This, I think, is the ace up his sleeve, that the player he thought would have a massive impact from the bench.
There's something else for the Manchester City defenders to think about.
Jane Ross. And the final is over. The team have scored fluently in this competition. 3 against Blackburn, 8 against Huddersfield. Just the Jane Ross goal against Villa in the 6th round. And the Lehman goal before the penalty shootout against Reading. They tell me that goal was against the run of play. We need something here now in this final. Strongly in there by Longhurst, and this is Kiernan. Longhurst again. Walsh came to meet her. Leon. Put her away by Horton was important.
There wasn't a bad ball into the box, you know. I'd like to have seen Lehman get across the defender. She sort of just waited for it to come to her. Like, anticipate where that's going to go.
Harris on the counter. Slamway's in the middle. Scott just holding in the deep position. Oh, it's a worthy effort. He was bending but too late.
And we've seen her score many of those throughout her years of playing, just cutting in field and looking to just bend it into the top corner. She's got so much pace, and she can go inside, she can go outside, so it's so difficult for a defender knowing which way is she going to go, and you can see exactly what she's trying to do. Just can't quite get enough whip on it.
They lead 1-0. They've only failed to score 4 times in the last 34 games, and I remind you, they've yet to concede in this. And they look strong at the moment, Manchester City. Here's Scott. As Gabby was saying at half-time, some bookies had West Ham at 11-1 against to triumph here. I saw 7-1 with a bookmaker this morning. So they've surprised a fair few by holding it to 1-0. They're not out of it with a scoreline like this. But there was no doubting Manchester City are by far the better team at the moment. Here's Paris. Claims that took a deflection. Just the way the ball looped up would suggest it might have done, but the referee unimpressed. Manus played it in. There's a chance at the other end. Kiernan. In midfield by Longhurst, who seems to be tiring. McManus. All this is tidy. Walsh. Easy for Morehouse there. Quite the record crowd the FA were anticipating, 4,264. It's been announced into the stadium. Slightly lower than last season's mark. In fact, West Ham were playing at home, would have made a factor. Now here's Paris to settle it all. And that is really good goalkeeping by Anna Morehouse. And another chance to put the final to bed has come and gone.
Good save from Morehouse there, narrowed the angle down for Nikita Paris, but again just shows her pace, just playing on the shoulder. She's pointing, she's saying exactly where she wants it. She's onside, good, well-timed run, and then she doesn't have anything else in her mind but to have a shot, and Morehouse gets a good save.
She'll be disappointed with this. Nikita Paris desperate to score in the FA Cup final.
You just think hit it across, don't you? It's quite a good height for the goalkeeper.
We're with the corner kick for Manchester City. Scott is in there. Beattie attacks the near post there. It's beyond that. Only dropped to Horton. Well, perhaps West Ham United can counter. Yes, indeed they can. And they've got, if she looks up Lehman in the middle, will she play left to Lehman? She does. This is Alicia Lehman. Oh, it was a tired shot. It's a real opportunity for West Ham to draw level in the cup final. The substitute Keenan with the run. She squared it to Alicia Lehman and there was no finish.
Oh, well, this was another chance. They had that one chance in the first half. Great pace, we spoke about that. Substitute does well, gets a head up, does the right thing. But it's just a weak effort, easy for Karen Bardsley.
I think you have to credit Demi Stokes for defending there. She's delayed, got across and affected Lehman, so she's had to take the shot early.
Casey was saying in the first half that if you don't protect the ball, you don't keep the ball, you don't pass the ball well, you will be drained. In any occasion, Casey, but in an FA Cup final, when you're playing a quality team like Manchester City, that has come back, I think, to hit West Ham United hard in this second half.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially on this pitch, on this occasion. You know, you spend this amount of time without the ball, you're going to be tired. And they look tired when they win the ball back. They're not able to keep it, you know. I've not seen a string of passes, more than 4 passes from West Ham, and that's going to show.
Horton closed down there by Lehman. And their error by the England captain. She was a scorer here in the Olympics against Brazil. Massive crowd, 70-odd thousand, wasn't it? Biggest ever at that stage. An England game. She was the best left back in that tournament, Stefan. She could play there in the World Cup if pressed. England have Greenwood and Stokes for that position, should they be picked in Phil Neville's squad on Wednesday, I think it is. Georgia Stanway, wrapped her foot around the cross. Hazard from Anna Morehouse. Beattie with the header away. Sali. Here's Leon, who's looked busier on that right-hand side. Jill Scott is there with her. Doing the right job, Jill Scott, standing her up. Longhurst. Simon with the cross, and Karen Bardsley judged that. Big ooze from the supporters, but she judged it.
She knew exactly where that was going, Karen Bardsley. She just looks so assured and confident at the moment, I think.
West Ham fans there, hopeful, great to see the youngsters here supporting women's football. And the fact that clubs like West Ham United are now emerging as a WSL force, and indeed case Manchester United.
It's great for the women's game to have names like West Ham. Obviously Tottenham Hotspur have just been promoted from the Championship as well, and Manchester United, you know, it's great for the women's game.
Someone was telling me that Spurs deserved to win the Championship title in that division. Is that accurate?
It wasn't me.
Sue, I hope not. No, I thought, listen, Tottenham have done fantastic this season with the resources they've got. Their staff and players have done an incredible job.
It's headed away by Hendricks. Faces Manchester United, won it if he gets it. Now it's switched away to Weah. It's a good ball by Stanway, and she's all alone. And can she settle the cup final? The shot is blocked by the legs of the goalkeeper. Here's Paris. West Ham United look a tired team now. 17 minutes to go, and Manchester City look capable of doubling the lead. Stanway with a shot, slightly dragged and wide. She's looked tired, mind you, in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Do you know, Caroline Weir there, a touch, just it couldn't take her infield, just kept taking her a little bit further and further wide, so just making that angle a little bit more difficult. You could see she's trying to get it under control, just keeps going a little bit wider. She's trying to get it back across goal. Morehouse does well to save it with her feet, but straight at her.
A bit of a wobble on the shot to deceive the goalkeeper, not on that one from Stanway, which was dragged wide. Scored in that 7-1 win earlier this season against West Ham, Stanway, and Manchester City look capable of scoring here as they come forward. That's offside though against Stanway, but every time they come forward now they look dangerous. So
they do look dangerous, both Stanway and Nikita Paris. Every opportunity they're looking to have a go at the tiring defenders. Definitely offside.
There's the official announcement of the crowd figure being read out. He has other things on his mind. Harris. Scott. Willett. Oh, lovely ball in. And Stanway arriving in the middle. Flew at it and it went wide.
That's a great ball. You know, we were talking about Bullard before and we were saying, does she have that energy and that, I suppose, running ability to play out wide? But that's what she has. She has the pinpoint delivery straight to Georgia Stanway. Again, she'll be disappointed. It was a good run into the box, but just disappointed with the header. She had to just throw herself at it.
Brilliant ball in for the chance. Poor ball out for West Ham here. Bullet, little drag back of the ball, but it didn't come off for her. A little bit of trickery inside the box. Good chase by the young substitute. A rush forward at Bardsley. And Kiernan. Kiernan will pressurise BT again. She won't stop running. She was a decent Gaelic footballer when she was a youngster. She played for the Cavan under-16s. Good cross-country runner when she was a youngster, Kiernan. And she'll chase and chase and chase, and she could yet have an effect because Manchester City at 1-0 up and dominant at the moment are not home and host.
You have to wonder at what point will Nick Cushing be looking to make a change and freshen it up. Obviously, I think Stanway's looking a little bit tired. He's got a fantastic talent in Lauren Hemp on the bench. He's got pace in Janine Becky, so he's got options if he wants to freshen it up in those attacking areas.
Manchester City flag fluttering in the breeze, which again is stiffening. There's a cold wind as well. All suited for a May weekend, a bank holiday weekend. And I did have the polka dot mankini ready for the Brighton beaches tomorrow, but
it's not worth thinking about.
Excuse me. It's Paris. But good thinking by Morehouse to get it away. Horton lifts it away. Scott. A little pass back, that's so short. Kiernan. Square ball, she was looking there for Vasselli to attack it, and she didn't. She held into a deep position, and here's Stokes leading the counter now for Manchester City. And Stanway isolated with the defender, takes her on Simon. Well, Percival I think it was, and she got the challenge in, it is indeed. Rhea Percival, and she got it away. She's down the West Ham player. Just got caught there in the face. Yeah, it was good. Took her on the outside. Oh, she's got a nick on back on the heel, I think.
Great defending this though.
Yeah.
Perfect challenge, had to be.
She's a good player. She's a good player.
Really is, really energetic. Will get back and defend, but will also get forward as much as she can. Good positioning.
Walsh saw the opportunity, switched the play out wide to McManus. With another good shift, Jill Scottish, she always does. Here's Paris. Saw the gap and went for it, blocked off in the end by Brooke Hendricks. Walsh to Horton. Now Weir. Manchester City look as if they're getting a substitute ready. It's Lauren Hemp who's going to come on. She's a fascinating young player, is Lauren Hemp. She's 18 years of age. And joined from Bristol City. She's a forward. And she scored 6 goals for Nick Cushion's side this season. She was the Young Player of the Year last season. And here's Stanway. This season's Young Player of the Year makes it too. And Manchester City are 10 minutes away from adding the FA Cup to the Continental Cup, a domestic cup competition double for them. And their quality has shone through in the second half.
Yeah, it really has. They've stepped it up in this second half. A lot more positive. Passing's much better. She's had a great game, Georgia Stanway, both her and Nikita Paris. A lot more involved. Good ball in, but just really lovely quick feet. Defensively has to do better. I think that does take a deflection past Anna Morehouse. I think you can see it a little bit here. Does it? It's a difficult one to see. Both Flaherty.
Tired defending, isn't it? Really tired. I think Flaherty turns her back, and then Hendricks blocks with the wrong foot. And if she goes with the other foot, she might have a chance. And they do look tired, West Ham now, and I think they need to shut up shop and make sure that City don't get a third.
So on comes the England under-20 international to replace Nikita Paris. And what a couple of weeks Stanway is. What a season she's had. Young Player of the Year, 16 goals. A few years ago, she was at the cup final, wanted the autograph of Steph Horton, and here she is, a scorer in this final. She's off again here now, and West Ham look a beaten team. Stanway has Hemp in the middle, a substitute, straight offside, so Stanway has to go on the outside and forces a save again, and Manchester City totally dominant.
West Ham are really struggling now. That fatigue is completely kicking in. I wonder, could Georgia Stanway have just played the ball through to Lauren Hemp? But again, good quick feet. Turns Gilly Flaherty, gets a shot away, but it's straight at Anna Morehouse. Simple save for her in the end.
This corner will swing away. BT looking to attack it. Played in towards the little flick on by McManus. Oh, overhead. At the substitute. That's what she's capable of doing. Going to be a big name, I think, Casey, in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, she had a fantastic season at Bristol before she went to Manchester City. I think she'll be disappointed with the amount of playing opportunities she's had this year, but, you know, can go both ways, can shoot off her left and right, is direct, strong, everything you want in an attacking player.
It's like the last person you want to see coming on for West Ham.
Yeah, especially when you're tired.
Yeah.
Claire Emsley will come on. 3 times a Scottish Cup runner-up at Hibs. Here come City again. And one of the West Ham defenders has gone down. Flaherty's getting to her feet now. Young kept it in. Lehman would have had a hand there. Stokes chasing after Lehman, who held on to it well. Sally waiting for Simon to arrive. Leon's calling for it in the middle, and she just lacked any sort of energy to get beyond the defensive work of Wooler. So on comes Claire Emsley to replace Caroline Weir. Made of her performance, Sue?
She's done much better in the second half. She was disappointed, I think, not to have scored. She's just got great technical ability. You always think something's going to happen when she gets on the ball.
Emsley's fourth appearance in this cup run. She's played a major role in their successes this season. I think this is the first time she's played West Ham. She didn't play in the previous two encounters this season. Hendricks. And the corner by Versali. Leon tried a little bit of trickery. Longhurst. And Simon switches back to the right foot. Little touch on in there. Manchester City steady defending. Came back out to Versali, who tried the little flick in the first place. And Leon. Time is tight for West Ham. They need something. Flaherty gone up there from the back. But they certainly haven't disgraced themselves. And they're going to make another substitution. Rosie Kamita is going to come on. She's a wide player. Has some pace. Came from the London Bees side. She was at Tottenham when she was a youngster, Kamita. I seem to think she went out to the St. Leo University in Florida. And back to Tottenham, had a spell at Brighton. A lot of these West Ham fans, players have found a new home. An emerging club, but it's not to be cup final joy for West Ham unless there's an astonishing turnaround. Sue, you'll have to pick our man of the match, or player of the match I should say, in a couple of moments' time. Got a couple of minutes to think about it.
I was going to say, do you want me to say it now?
What do you know now?
It's a tough one between, I think, second, I'll tell you in a minute.
They've got a chance here, Manchester City again, and X3, and an absolutely exquisite finish with 2.5 minutes to go, and we've talked her up, Lauren Hemp, and we've said what a good player she's going to be, and what a fine goal it was to wrap up the FA Cup final. A long ball, not hopeful, well played down the left-hand side, and she had to score it from way out. He wants more from his team. They haven't disgraced themselves, but in the end, they've been beaten by the better side. And look at the work she had to do. She timed the run well, and West Ham's legs have gone. They couldn't get back at her. Should the keeper have come out that far, but didn't she finish it well?
Oh, what a great finish. We spoke her up, didn't we, before she came on, and we were saying how good she is, how talented she is. That says it all. Fantastic run, well timed. She's got that pace, she's got that power, but then she's got the composure. As the goalkeeper comes out, makes it really easy for her. I think it's the wrong decision from the goalkeeper, but cool, calm finish.
Yeah, I have to question the goalkeeper's decision making there. I think Lauren Hemp's got an awful lot to do. She's wide of the 18-yard box, and I think that's made it easy for Lauren, but having said that, it's a fantastic finish.
Who's your SSE player of the match, Sue?
Giving it to Georgia Stanway. I think she's been excellent in this second half, really busy, always looking to make something happen, and obviously her goal was great as well. Nikita Paris was right up there, but I had to give it to Stanway in the end.
And closing down there to stop West Ham getting an easy ball up to their front 3, 4, 5, whoever it is now. It's a forlorn mission. Leon just a little bit disappointed with her today. Here's Kamita. Longhurst, who's worked really hard. Beattie comes and claims. Longhurst again. Kamita. Can they get a consolation? Well, it's not a bad effort. The header that flew just over the bar from Visali, the substitute. There's your player of the match, Georgia Stanway. She scored the second goal to ease them to victory, and here it is.
Just lovely quick feet, awareness of players around her, and then a cool finish at the end. I just think she's just looked lively all game, particularly in that second half, but she's had a good game.
And they're looking for another. Hemp is onside. Here's Hemp, off the post and wide, and it was nearly 4. And I don't think West Ham would have deserved that.
No, they really wouldn't. What a talent she is, though. Like I said, it's the last person you want to see when you're tiring as a defender, because that's what she does. Gets on the shoulder, gets herself into positions, and so unlucky there to hit the post.
Would it have been harsh?
I think it would have been harsh. You know, I think West Ham have acquitted themselves well, especially in the first half, and I think it is fatigue. You know, spending that much time without the ball on this pitch, on this occasion, you know, it's just taken it out of them. They haven't been able to create very little in the second half, really, to even threaten Manchester City.
No, they've been totally dominant, Manchester City, in this second period. A couple of minutes to go in stoppage time. Meters throw. Here's Longhurst. Lehman tries to create in there, might yet come for Cho. Leon, it's wide. You look at the gifted players in the West Ham side, like Leon, like Lehman, like Cho, and I don't really think they've turned up.
They've had flashes, they've shown flashes of real quality, and you can see that they have got that potential. But it's difficult against a very good Manchester City defence. I think we have to praise them as well. And Jen Beattie and Steph Horton, 2 quality centre-halves there, solid.
And here they come again. Hemp on Stanway. It's Emsley. It could have been another. Into the last minute of the FA Cup final, and he's sent on players with real pace to kill off West Ham United, Hemp and Emsley.
And that's the difference, isn't it? It's that strength in depth that Manchester City have. Players that you can bring on to change the game, make a real difference.
Casey's gone. I didn't see her go. She made one of those elusive runs.
Quick, you see.
Well, look, quietly effective in this game. Here's McManus. That's a corner. Well, look, we haven't seen her going forward a great deal. We haven't seen the trick over on the ball. I said early on, I don't think she's got killer pace. But what she's done is she's doubled up with McManus and stopped West Ham getting out on their left-hand side.
And you know, it's a positioning. She knows where to be, uses that experience. So defensively, she's always there, but then does have that quality on the ball.
Jill Scott, oh goodness me, how she'd love to score at Wembley in an FA Cup final again. Emsley will take the corner. Scott will attack the ball. Emsley in the 6-yard area. Horton's up there as well. Her header loops forward and pushed away by Morehouse, who had to react. It's the last moment of the FA Cup final that belongs to Manchester City, and the coach Nick Cushing had a man there as well, and they've deserved it. West Ham United, the underdogs, kept them at bay and kept them at bay and kept them at bay. And in the end, the quality shone. Walsh and Stanway and Hemp. And it was a handsome victory for Manchester City in the end. He managed the game well, Sue, as the coach.
Yeah, he's a great manager. Both managers are tactically very good, but I just think Manchester City's quality just shone through in that second half. I think West Ham tired, as the game went on. First half, they gave a real good account of themselves and had two very good opportunities, and you think could have been a different game if they'd have put those away. But Manchester City, well-deserved victors.
A terrific performance by Manchester City in the second half, when youth, exuberance and pace told in the end. Walsh, Stanway and Hemp with the goals. West Ham United, competitive, resilient, and a team to watch out for in the future. But Gabby, they've been beaten here today by 3 goals. So the victory is Manchester City's.
Thank you, Jonathan, Sue and Casey. It really was a game of two halves, wasn't it? Because West Ham, for all their endeavour in that first half,
Semi-final has been won by the Hertfordshire Hornets.
It's on the line.